Hey, so we're back with another case study. Today we are talking about spending money to know someone. How much is too much? Should you be spending anything? We're going to listen to what the City Girls had to say about this topic. They recently appeared on the Revolt show with Justin Combs and Justin LaBoy. And they had a lot to say about the topic, so we're going to go ahead and get into it. Now, some of you may be wondering, what is a City Girl? So the City Girls is a rap duo from Miami. Shout out to Dade County. This duo consists of Carisha, aka Young Miami, and JT. Now, that's the name of the group, City Girls. They've coined the whole City Girls phrase, and a lot of people describe themselves as a city girl. And for anybody who may want to know what a city girl is, I'll let JT of the City Girls tell you what a city girl is.
To be a city girl, you just gotta be on your shit, because a lot of think being a city girl is a bum who just out here fucking, who can't find no nigga to love them. No, you gotta find you a nigga that'll treat you right, spend their bread, treat you like a queen, and you still getting your motherfucking bag too. Now that's city girl shit, not getting drugged at home by your broke motherfucking man.
Oh, wow, talking.
All right, there it is. So we got that out of the way. We all know what they say a city girl is according to them. And yes, you heard right. A city girl wants to be treated like a queen, but she talks like that. Let's go ahead and get into it. How much money should a man have to spend in order to get to know a woman in 2021? We're talking about getting to know her. You don't really know this woman. This could be the first date or within the first 30 days. I put up a poll and some of you guys chimed in on that. I'll get into that in a second. But first, let's see what the City Girls had to say. We're gonna let Young Miami go first. She is a mother of two. She has two babies from two different men. Her first baby daddy, he lost his life last year. And her second baby daddy is the person she's in a relationship with now. They're on and off. I'm assuming they're on still. He has a bunch of kids from a bunch of different women, and he's a record producer. So let's see what Young Miami had to say about how much he spent on her on the very first date.
If y'all were single when y'all was, what does someone have to do on the first date that qualified them for the second date? So in y'all situation, what type of pressure did a apply to get that second date?
I ain't gonna lie, I want that whole 9 yards the first date. Like, take me shopping. Take me to the club. Give me some ones. And like, you've been knowing me forever. Impress me.
That's the first date?
Yeah.
So what a first date would you cost?
I wanna go. I don't know. It depends.
What's the most blew on a first date? Just to get to know you, respectfully.
Just to get to know me?
Yeah.
Because like these days, it's like to send jets.
Hold on, nigga sent the jet to get to say hi?
Yeah, they be like, just come. Like now, that ain't really nothing. Like niggas just doing it. Like, come see me.
Wow. So just give me a ballpark figure, how much it took to get to know you. And you ain't even entertained, you just wanted to.
Well, when I first got my baby daddy, he took me to the furniture store, and my furniture at that time came in at like $50,000 because I had like a little townhouse. Swear to God.
Hold on.
Wow, so some of you guys, you may be wondering out there when you're dating some of these women these days, how their expectations are just set so high, and they're expecting for you to do so much when you're just meeting them, you don't know them. They basically want you to drop a bag on them just to get to know them. I mean, did you hear what Young Miami just said? That there are guys out here that's sending them a jet just to say hello, just to be able to have them in their presence, and you know things are gonna happen with that as well. But there are guys who are dropping the bag on them just to be with them and get to know them. If you have a jet, you're probably spending about $20,000 to fuel it up. And that's obviously something that a very wealthy man can afford. It doesn't bother him to do that for somebody that he wants to be with, even for just a night. But the problem that I see with this is that you have the average everyday women expecting this from average everyday men. Even men who are qualified as high value don't have their own jet. If the minimum bar for the income part for a high value man is $10,000 a month or $120,000 a year, you can't afford a jet still. So I'm just saying, like, their whole expectation of men is just skewed. On top of that, she's talking about how her baby daddy spent $50,000 on her on their first date. It was at a furniture store. By the way, for the finesse queens out there and everything, they love doing stuff like that, taking them shopping for a date or something. I just want to reiterate, your average everyday woman hears this, and this is why she's always upset trying to level up and figure out how to get more and more and more and more. She can never really be happy because she's looking on the internet and she's hearing stuff like this. And she's comparing what you're doing for her to what other women like this are getting men to do for them. And not only is it making her unhappy, by making it so tough for you to please her, it's making you unhappy too. Some of you guys may be saying, I will never date a city girl. I don't care what they're saying. Although they are ratchet, what they're saying is significant because they are programming today's women. Just like with the Sweetie interview they did. These girls are listening to every single word that's coming out of these women's mouths. So even if you're not dating JT or Carisha, trust me, 9 times out of 10, the woman you're trying to date, I don't care how many degrees she has, if she's a teacher or she works at the bank, she's a city girl and she's listening to this. And you may wonder sometimes how you're clashing because this is the curriculum that she's following. She may not tell you what she's following. Peep her actions. And if you examine her actions closely, she'll start to look more and more like them the more you observe her. Now that was Young Miami talking about how much a man spent on her on a first date. So now we're gonna go ahead and get into JT's response on how much her man spent on her on the first date.
How about you? Let's talk about your first date.
Oh,
What
my man
qualified
right
him
over
for the
there.
second date?
He's still
He a real one, real rich.
Oh, well, the first day I met my man.
Ooh, talk
I was
about, look at that smile. Y'all see that smile? Hey, yo, I know when the motherfucker happy when they lying. That smile can't control itself.
Okay,
Talk your shit.
when I first met my man, I was still in a halfway house. So he came to see me. He came to Atlanta. I was
That's
still in a
gangsta
halfway
love.
house.
That's real love.
And he gave me, like, he had a bag full of money. And I had a little Chanel bag. And he was like, take as much as you can.
Not the baby Chanel.
And I only could fit $30,000 and I was so mad. And he took me, like, to Louis Vuitton and Taco Bell.
Taco Bell? Hold on. How you go to Louis get 30,000 but eat Taco Bell?
We
That's
had to make it
different.
quick. Because I had to be back to the halfway house.
Oh, I forgot you got curfew in that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was JT. She's currently in a relationship with Lil Uzi Vert. He's a rapper. And she was describing how he took her out on their first date, gave her $30,000 on the first date, took her to Louis V and Taco Bell. Just a very interesting combination of events. But she explained that she had a curfew and was living in a halfway house. She had just got out of prison. She was in a federal prison for like 2 years. And that's what she got that man to do for her. JT doesn't have any kids, but she seems to be really into Lil Uzi. I mean, the whole time. She was all smiles throughout the interview when it came to talking about her man. And it looked like Young Miami was a little bit jealous when she talked about him. And you know, that's a whole nother video too. Like, women not realizing they're jealous friends and how those friends can be holding them back because they don't want to see them happier than them. So I put up this poll because I wanted to see what you guys thought about this topic. The question was, what's the maximum amount of money a man should spend during the getting to know you phase? A couple of hundred of you participated in the survey. 64% said $150 is the max. 7% says $300 is the max. 5% of you said $500 was the max. And then you had 24% of you that says there's no limit. For the 24% of you, I'm sure all the city girls out there love you because that's just what all of them are looking for. But let's go ahead and get into a few of your comments. D says $16 to $20 tops. You know, after the first encounter, if it's going anywhere, and that first encounter should be no more than $16 to $20. Chicks out here using men for free meals, F out of here. Lewis says about $300 over a span of about 3 to 6 months. Daniel says way less than $150 depending on the location you live. Bobby says I cap it off at $250. I don't try to wine and dine anyone I don't know. Devin, coffee dates or a walk in the park exclusively. It weeds out the ones that are after your finances and proves if they really want to be with you or be a part of what you have. 636 Racer says, I don't have a limit. I look for activities where I can get to know her. I don't need to spend $150. I just need 5 to 10 minutes to ask her 3 to 4 questions. What's a king to a god? Commented, you shouldn't be spending much if you're in the beginning phases. Nothing wrong with inviting someone over, cook dinner, some drinks, and maybe some card or board games. Coffee dates work well too. You don't start breaking bread until she shows and proves that she fits your program. And then for our married people, shout out to Q Lillian for responding. 0 if you get to know the man. I'm so glad I'm married. Dating in 2021 is weird. And Kevin also said, I'm so glad I am married. Lots of weirdos and damaged people out here in 2021 asking for ridiculous crap. Shout out to all of you all who participated in that poll. I appreciate you guys for joining the conversation. Well, what do I think about this? You guys can do whatever you want because that's your business, but I will give you a little insight that most women would not want you to know. For one, many women today, they're dating multiple men at the same time. A lot of you already know that. I personally know women who have multiple dates per week, none with the same man, and even know a woman who's going on 3 dates in one day with 3 men. Yes, 3 dates in one day. So lots of women are accepting dates with men they are not attracted to, and they have 0 plans on giving you any. In fact, they love to say they are celibate. Especially women in their 30s, you're going to hear that a lot. That's because they're doing so much dating and getting so many men to buy them meals. That's their way of not having to give it to you. Some of these women are so lonely, they are going on dates to not only have something to do, because if you didn't take her out, she would be at home with her kids or with her dogs. But not just that, she likes to use men to buy a special meal for her. Even if she has money or a decent job on her own, it's always better in her eyes to spend your money than her own. And the last thing I want to say, most of these women are modern women. They don't like words like submit or cooperate, and they don't want to be led by you, nor do they trust to be led by you. So why date multiple women per month, spending hundreds of dollars for nothing? Instead, you need to pre-qualify these women. Like one of the subs said, he has only like 3 or 4 questions to ask to see if the woman is even qualified. Pre-qualify the ladies before you open up your pockets. If you're spending a bunch of money to get to know her, chances are she's probably not really into you and you're probably getting played. In 2021, you do not have to break the bank to get to know somebody. And there are creative things you can implement to make sure that you're managing that and maybe not even spending much at all. Again, do what y'all want to do because that's your business, but do realize that women have these ridiculous expectations because there's some men out there doing these things for them or did it in the past, and they want you to do it too. On top of that, she's listening to Sweetie and the City Girls. Support this channel by hitting up the Cash App. If you like this video, you want to see more content like this, support the channel. The link to the Cash App is below in the description. Ladies, fellas, if you want to hear a balanced analysis on topics like this from a female perspective, make sure you subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.